What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. Welcome to another video. So today's video is going to be a little more chill. This is a video that I've been putting off for a couple of weeks because I couldn't quite decide what I wanted it to be, because I knew I wanted to make a video after I finished my first year of college. And if you watched my video that I did last semester, where I did kind of like a semester overview, so I was planning on doing something like that, but then I decided I wanted to give some advice in this video because I know a lot of people probably just graduated and are heading into college, so I kind of wanted to give you some advice for your freshman year of college. So as you can tell by the title, this is going to be some things I wish I knew before I started college. And I have a list right here of things that I wrote down that I wish someone had told me before I started college. So I'm going to be discussing some of those things with you, giving you some advice, and yeah, so this should be a kind of interesting way to go about my freshman year of college. I'm going to be kind of discussing that along with these things. So if you're interested in any of this information, then just keep watching. Alright, so a little backstory on me in case you're new here, and if you are new here, hello, I hope you stay. But just in case you aren't caught up with my current situation, I just finished my freshman year at a community college. I am part of a grant scholarship. So basically what that means is I have my first 2 years of college already paid for by the city. So I don't have to pay for any tuition. Books and other costs like that are my responsibility, but as far as tuition goes, I'm basically covered. And I am a business major, so in case because some people don't know, I get questions sometimes about what I'm studying and what I want to do. So I'm currently a business major, and I plan to go into community and economic development. So that is my goal for after I get out of community college. Then I'll kind of shift gears a little bit more towards that. But yeah, that is my current situation. And also I should mention that I am still living at home with my parents, so I didn't like move out or anything. So a lot of these things won't apply to that, but I just kind of want to give you a little bit of a personal background before I jump into these things. So yeah. Alright, so the number one thing on my list of things that I wish I knew before I started college is that don't go in with your whole life figured out. So I'm sure if you're at the end of high school, or if you're in high school at all, you probably get questions a lot like, what are you going to do with your life? What are you going to major in college? And stuff like that. And I just want to say, you don't have to have it all figured out in high school or even college. I mean, while I have a general outline of what I want to do, I don't have everything set in stone specifically. So my advice is don't go in with you don't have to go in with your whole life figured out. Like, you can go in undecided. You can change your major as many times as you want. So don't think that you have to go in with your whole life figured out, because I'm pretty sure that that doesn't ever happen for anyone. Okay, number two, this is a big one. I remember when I was sitting in orientation that I had to do last fall, that this lady told me, she was like, you're not going to like every one of your teachers. And also this is important because I was homeschooled, so I basically was my own teacher. I've never really had another teacher besides my mom, but I've never had like someone, you know, like a real teacher. But I went in and I was like, you know, it'll be fine, you know, I'll find a way to get along with any teachers that I don't like. Well, that won't happen. There are going to be professors that you just don't like, professors that make your blood boil. That's just a fact in college that you have to accept. You're not going to like every one of your teachers. I remember my first semester, I got super lucky with who my teachers were. I liked most of them. My first business teacher, which was actually the first class I ever went to, and on my first day I walked in and I was super nervous, you know, first day of college and all that stuff, and I was expecting like this professor to be like super like, I don't know, the stereotypical professor vibe, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure everyone has those expectations, but funny thing is he wasn't like that at all. He's actually the best teacher I've ever had, and I am so lucky I got to have him last semester, and I actually get to do another class with him this fall, which I'm super excited for. So there are definitely going to be teachers that you don't like, but there are going to be ones that you do like and that do a great job. And then another thing that goes along with that is that some professors don't really do their job. And I know that sounds really wrong to say, but sometimes you're basically on your own for a class. Like, I had a professor this last semester who just read straight out of the book for the entire class, and that was it. And obviously it was super dumb because, you know, if I wanted to read the book, then I would read it on my own. I don't need to go to story time for this college class. So you're going to have to do some of your own teaching. And there are a lot of resources out there that I didn't even know about until months into my college experience. And I'm gonna link some of them down below, like resources that I used to when my professor didn't do a good job of professing. And also make sure you check into what your school has to offer, because I know for me there were a ton of online resources that I didn't even know existed. So make sure you definitely make use of those resources if you do get one of those professors that doesn't really do their job. Alright, the next thing. This is something that you will not be able to avoid. You will eventually have to talk in class. And I know all the introverts out there, like me, are probably shivering in your seats, but listen, you will not be able to go back and sit in the very back row and hide. You will have to talk in class eventually, especially if you go to a community college like I do, where the classes are a lot smaller. I mean, I don't know what it's like at universities because classes are obviously a lot bigger. But if you are in a smaller class, you will eventually have to talk whether you want to or not. Doesn't matter if you're an introvert, doesn't matter if you're an extrovert, you will have to participate in the discussion eventually. And that's just a fact you have to come to accept. It's a fact that I had to come to accept, because I went in and I was like, you know, I'm shy. If I talk, I'll just sound dumb, and I'm not going to talk. Well, that didn't work out for me. I had several classes where you were just called on, where you would just be sitting there, and sometimes I'd be zoning out, and then I would get called on and they'd be like, so Megan, what do you think about this? And I would have to respond. So don't go in thinking that you're not going to have to participate in the discussion, because you will eventually. So just go ahead and get prepared for it. Okay, number 5. There is not going to be enough time in the day for everything. There is just not, it's not possible. I've done the math. You can save your time. There's not going to be enough time for everything. And this is where you really have to prioritize your what's important to you and what needs to be done versus what's not so important. Because let me tell you, you will run out of time if you try to do everything. And a thing that goes along with this is sometimes you will have to tell people no. If someone wants to hang out with you, if your boss asks you if you can work extra hours, sometimes you are going to have so much homework that it's just not going to be in the picture for you to work those extra hours or go hang out with a friend. It's not going to be possible. So if you don't know how to say no, you better start practicing now, because there's not going to be enough time for everything. And this is something that I really struggled with, because I'm one of those people, I have a hard time telling people no. You know, if someone asks if I want to hang out, I'll be like, yeah, sure. If my boss asks if I can come in and work an extra couple hours, I'll be like, yeah, sure. But then I got so stressed out because I would not have enough time to get all my homework done and do everything else that I wanted to do. So you're gonna have to say no. And this is your education. This is your future. This is what matters most in your life right now. Second to family, school is the most important thing in my life right now, and I will let nothing get in the way of that. Make sure you really prioritize what's important to you so you have enough time to get your stuff done. And also another thing that goes along with that is you will have to plan, because you are going to have a lot of things to keep track of, and you're not going to be able to remember it all, because I thought I was pretty good at remembering things until I got to college and I realized how much work I have and all the different deadlines. Like, I got pretty lucky. I think both semesters of my freshman year, all of my assignments were basically due on the same day, so I really only had one date in mind to keep track of. But it's definitely a good idea to get a planner. They have them at the dollar store. I have showed you guys my Happy Planner before. I love it. It's what I use to plan all of my schoolwork, but just get a planner. You can even use your phone, use your computer, whatever works for you, but just make sure that you are able to keep track of everything so you can get everything done on time. Okay, this next thing is a big one. If you pay attention to anything in this video, now would be a great time to pay attention. This is something that I'm telling myself on camera. So Megan, watching this, listen up, girl. So this is the most important thing in college. Try your hardest, but don't beat yourself up. I'm a perfectionist, okay? I like to have everything perfect. And with college, the thing is, it's hard. If nobody's ever told you, college is hard. And you're not going to be like the perfect student. No one is. You know me, I'm a stickler for routines and keeping up with things, but it's gonna be a struggle, but you can't beat yourself up about it. If you get one bad grade, you can't let that ruin your momentum for the rest of the semester. The only thing you can do from there is just accept it and just try harder, study harder, whatever you need to do. Cut out, you know, going back to what I said earlier about prioritizing your time, maybe cut out a trip to Starbucks or playing Animal Crossing. You know, like, find what's getting in the way of you being your best, but also don't beat yourself up over one bad grade, because that's something I did over and over and over and over again. I'm definitely not here to brag about my grades or anything, but I would get so upset if I got one bad grade, and I would let it ruin like my momentum that I had going, and I would just, it's not healthy. So try your hardest, but don't beat yourself up over a grade. Okay, next thing. You're not going to get in a clique or a friend group right away, or ever. I feel like this is something like people have such high expectations for college, and you're gonna go in and make all these friends, but in reality, that's probably not going to happen. If you go to a big university, you know, there's hundreds and hundreds and thousands of students there. And unless you're like a huge extrovert or something, then you may not find your way into friend groups easily. So just erase that expectation out of your brain, because it's probably not going to happen. And from what I've learned, you don't need to have a big friend group. You don't need to be a part of a big group. You just need that one person you can text or talk to during class. You don't have to be a part of a big group or anything, but just erase the expectation that you're going to find friends right away, because that's probably not going to happen. And then with this kind of like social portion of the video, another thing I want to say to all the incoming freshmen out there: don't give in to pressure. This is something huge. I've seen a lot of people go into college and make really bad mistakes that they are definitely going to regret later in life. And I don't want that to happen to any of you or anyone who's going into college. I've been pretty lucky with my experience. I've met some awesome people who motivate me and lift me up, and those are the kind of people that you need to have in your life when you're in college, not the kind of people that are going to pressure you into drinking or drugs or partying or anything that you don't want to do, basically. And just remember that you are in control of your life and you are free to make whatever decisions that you want, but don't let anyone else make those decisions for you. And that's my motivational speech for today. Thank you very much. Okay, number 11. College is not aesthetic. Okay, it's just not. So whatever you see online, the pictures, the videos, that's all fake, because that's not what college is like. College can get ugly sometimes. There are moments when you literally just want to quit and become a carpenter or something. It's not pretty sometimes, and you're not going to have pretty notes or a cute dorm room all the time, and that's just not how it works, okay? And then with that, you aren't going to look cute all the time either, so get over that. Bring your couple good outfits for good dates, but also accept that there are going to be times when you're not going to have time to take a shower before class. You're not going to have time to put on a full face of makeup. Sometimes you just have to go how you are, and that's just a fact, because as I said earlier, there is not enough time for everything. And you're gonna have days where you just don't look good, and that's a fact. Okay, the next thing I have to say is go in with all the confidence that you've ever had in your life. Confidence is the key to mastering college, from my experience anyway. College is what you make of it, and if you go in with the expectation that like, oh, I'm not gonna do good, or I'm not going to have friends or have a good time, then you're basically setting yourself up for failure. So go in with the confidence, go in with goals, and like I said earlier, don't beat yourself up if you don't meet those goals, but have those goals and go in with all the confidence that you've ever had in your life, because you will need every ounce of it. And then this is very random, it doesn't go in this section, but I just wanted to say to everyone out there who may not be aware, college is expensive, okay? It ain't cheap. We know that. I'm sure a lot of people already know that. If you've already been accepted into college and you know like where you're going, you know what the financial figures are like, and it's expensive. Another annoying thing is how expensive books are. I always say this is the biggest scam in college, or at least for me. I would buy books that are hundreds of dollars because I wasn't able to rent any this year. I'm hoping to do more of that next year, but you buy these books and they come and they're not even bound. Literally, it's just a stack of papers like that big, and they're not even bound for hundreds of dollars. I've always said that's the biggest scam in college. In college, it's expensive. Be saving your money. Apply for every scholarship that you can. I know at the beginning of this video I said that I was lucky and I have my tuition already paid for, but be saving your money because it ain't cheap. Alright, I know this video is very long and I do apologize because we all know that I can talk for a very long time. But the last thing I want to say to any incoming freshmen, the biggest thing I wish I knew before I started college as a freshman is the perfect experience doesn't exist. You can go into college with these expectations, whatever it may be. Maybe you're going for a great social life, or you want to pass with all A's, or whatever it may be. The perfect experience doesn't exist. Everyone has completely different experiences in college. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. But you can't make your expectations for college be the same as what someone else's experiences already were, because that's not going to be your experience. You're going to have a completely different experience from them, and you never know what could happen in the future. So just go in with an open mind and enjoy every second of it, because it's only a few years out of your life, and after college all you do is work until you die. So these are really the prime time of your life to enjoy. In my psychology class this last semester, we learned that when you're in your early 20s is when most people peak in life. So enjoy that time, enjoy the college experience, because it only happens once. Alright guys, that is all the advice I have for you today. I hope you took something from it. I hope this was an interesting way to share what my experience was and give you some advice so you can have the best freshman year of your life. I wish all of you the best if you're going into college, and if you just watched this video just because it was in your subscription feed, thanks for sticking around. I know I can talk for a while, surprisingly, so thanks for sticking around. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. I post at least once a week, every week, so subscribe, stick around for new videos every week. Also, if you haven't yet, listen to my podcast Unfiltered. The link is also in the description down below. And check out my new episodes, which go up every Monday. And make sure you're keeping up with me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Everything is linked down below. And I will see you guys in the next video. I like me better when